Hey there, happy day 1183 of What You Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business. Sharing lessons learned, stuff that works out really, really well, and stuff that I just bomb, tank, fall on my face in. Today, I want to just share what I'm working on. I'm getting ready to go on a trip in a few days, and of course, I caught a cold, super irritated. Cold still exists in the days of COVID, so I've got this stupid cold, cough, itchy, scratchy throat, and runny nose, which is just annoying. And, you know, it seems like every spring and every fall I used to get a cold, but the last couple of years with COVID, it seems like every sneeze, every sniffle, we think, oh my God, it's the end of the world, it's COVID. My goal was to not cough through the entire video. Epic fail, missed the target, which is something I want to talk about today. Talked about missing the target or missed the target for our Supersize Your Business page today. And I shared 7, I just brainstormed and thought, well, what are 7 reasons or excuses that we missed the target? And I shared those, and I thought they were pretty good, so I'd like to repeat them. And I just pulled them out of my mind based on my experience, things that I've done to miss the mark and made mistakes. Are some of them hard to admit? Sure, of course they are. When we set out to do something like not cough in our videos and we cough right in the first couple of seconds, it means that we missed the mark. Did I plan accordingly? No, I haven't taken enough drinks. I didn't have a cough drop before the video, things like that I could have done that I didn't do, so I missed the mark. How did I miss the mark? There's 7 reasons and seven ways that we can miss the mark. Number 1 is when our ego, our emotions, our fear, our doubt, our worry, or our emotions cloud our judgment. If our emotions cloud our judgment and we don't balance those with some objective and some reasoning, we can make mistakes and miss the mark, miss our target altogether. If we're not clear, and I didn't even say this one, but if we're not clear and focused on what the mark is, what the target is, we can miss the mark because we don't know exactly what we're aiming at. Have you ever done that? I want to make $1 million, but I have no idea how I'm going to do it. So any way you do it can achieve the goal, but chances are you're never going to do it because you don't have a clear plan or path or a focused way of doing that. I guarantee anyone that you ask just about would say, yeah, I want $1 million, I want to make $1 million, but they have no idea how to go about achieving that. And so if they don't even know what the target is, if they're not clear on the target, they're never going to achieve it. Another way is looking for the easy button, the cheat code, the shortcut, and thinking, or the red pill or the blue pill, thinking that there's a magic button, a magic pill, a magic process, a magic way to get from where you are to where you want to be. Lots of people will sell you, this is the way to succeed, but this is just the way that they succeeded. Will it work for you? There's no guarantee. It might not. It might actually be harder for you than it was for them because it's not your path, your journey. Not having the right target, I think I just said that in the first place. Trusting the wrong sources. Trusting the wrong, again, kind of the same thing. Looking for somebody to do it for you. Or trusting sources and thinking they are actually true, honest, authentic, factual sources when in fact they're not. Think of the news media nowadays. Do you honestly trust any sources on television or the internet or media? If you do, I think that you might be setting yourself up for failure, and you might definitely be missing the mark in goals and objectives that you want to set for yourself because you're not basing your actions on solid, sound, right, true information and facts. Just my opinion, but I have learned by listening to the wrong people, thinking the right people, thinking certain people had our best interests at heart, but they don't, is one of the key ways that we can miss our targets because we're trusting the wrong sources. Not wanting to put in the work. By preparing, by planning, by practicing, by doing the things that are necessary to hit the target that you want. Everybody, like I said, wants to make $1 million, but the vast majority of people don't want to do the things that are required to make that a reality in their life. Not asking the right questions and not doing your due diligence. These are 2 different ones, but in and of themselves, the bottom line reason that the vast majority of people don't hit their targets or they fail in trying to achieve something they want to achieve because they don't put in the investigation time. They don't ask questions. They don't research the idea that they have. All of us are full of ideas all the time. But we have to look into and find out, well, how can I make that happen? What's the probability of it? What has been done before so I don't waste my time trying to reinvent the wheel? What has been done that I can step onto the platform of and jump off of in order to get to my goal and my objective sooner and faster? Excuse me, more drinks. So that was kind of a fun one today. I like it when I take the idiom and the expression. And this idiom's been around since the Bible, the Old Testament. John talked about sin being the best, or being an example of how people miss the mark. And he was talking to people back in his time about when they don't follow the Word of God and God's 10 Commandments, they're missing the mark, which is the same as sinning. Sinning is missing the mark when you don't follow the commandments. And that's where it originally came from. And now missing the mark, of course, means to fail to achieve the result that you want, to fail to achieve the thing that you intend to achieve, to fail or be wrong about something. Well, you know, we all fail and we all miss the mark a whole lot of times on the way to achieving what it is that we want to achieve. I've achieved a lot of my goals in my lifetime, but guess what? I didn't achieve them the first time I made an attempt at them. I had to adjust and test and tweak and change my plans and do things differently, and sometimes totally reinvent myself and what I was doing in order to achieve the goals and objectives that I wanted to. That is doing what we need to do to get what it is that we want in life. And that is all about how we hit the mark, how we hit the nail on the head. I think that was yesterday, wasn't it? Or a couple of days ago, hit the nail on the head. And that's how we achieve what it is that we want to achieve. So that was our Supersize Your Business today. So I thought that was kind of a fun one worth sharing. We were doing the spiritual soap, going through the soap framework in the Get Up and Go Challenge with respect to our spiritual health, our spiritual well-being. And it's a tough one for me to personally talk about, and for a lot of us, religion, spirituality, faith, what we believe deeply in our being, our big me, big you, versus our little being, you know, who we show up on as the planet. To me, how we show up every day in our life, that's, to me, little me, that's just little me. And then big me, big you, is our soul, what's really inside of us, and that's much bigger than how we show up in the physical world. That is just my opinion. And how do we increase our faith? How do we increase our religion? How do we go from where we are to where we want to be? We use the SOAP framework to do that. So we talked through that. And tomorrow is going to be a different one, because I've never done this area with the SOAP framework consciously. I've done it often in my life, using it on a subconscious level. But I have to give an example of confidence. I think it's confidence tomorrow. Let me see. Yep, confidence. We're going to do confidence soap tomorrow. So that'll be a fun one, and one I've never done before. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll look at it sometime today, sometime tonight, and say, okay, what is an example of, you know, where I am with respect to confidence now, where I want to be? What are some options? What are some action what's an action I can take? Will I know if I'm making progress or not? And I've already been working on that this year, so that'll be a fun one and an easy one to do. Our do one thing every day that centers you, 365-day, our annual challenge this year was actually about targets as well. It was a target for literature that centers us, and it even had a target in it, so that was kind of handy. And just thinking about things that we read, or literature, or things that make us feel calm and centered. For a lot of people, I'm sure the Bible or the Quran or whatever is the one that's in the center that completely centers them. And then what centers us even more? What other types of things do we read and experience that make us feel good about ourselves? So that kind of ties into spirituality as well. I like the days when all of the things that I do sort of interconnect and tie into one another. It just gives me a sense of, okay, yeah, purpose and on the right track. Because there are days when I feel like the things that I'm doing are not very focused and are very disjointed. Especially when my head is not very focused and very disjointed, because it's all stuffed up. So that's what I'm working on. I absolutely, positively need to start getting ready for my trip that's coming up. And getting a cold has not been conducive to the activities that I need to do to do that. So I'm hoping that as the day wears on today, I will feel better. I was going to go out for a walk. The sun was shining this morning, and now it looks like it's cloudy and it's supposed to rain today. So I think I might have missed my window of fresh air opportunity. Although I feel like a lot of this, I thought it was allergies at first, even though I swear that I don't have allergies. At least that's what I've been telling myself and my kids for decades. I don't have allergies. I don't have allergies. Because I don't want to be affected by allergies. But I think it's actually a full-fledged cold. So I will deal with the 2-week cold symptoms like we always do. We've been dealing with colds our entire lives, at least I'm sure many of us have. I have for sure. I've had a couple of colds or a cold a year for probably all the 61 years I've been on the planet. So that means 61 times or so I've had a cold. So we know how to deal with it. We know what works for us and what doesn't work for us. So if I can help you anyway, if you have any questions, remember how we miss the mark is by not asking the right questions. I might not be the right source or the right person to answer your question, but I guarantee I can hook you up with somebody or get you to the next step that you need, no matter where and what you're stuck on in your life. There's always a solution, and sometimes we just need another person to ask, and I'd like to be that resource for you if you need it. Otherwise, go out, have an awesome day. I'm going to be laying low and nursing my cold today. Have a fun time. I hope that you are healthy and well, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.